I think autonomy in general in ag is going to become more and more of the norm as the next generation comes home to farm. This is how they're going to want to farm. They're going to embrace technology.
Ag-related news has been a hot topic lately with the water curtailment discussion, but today we're talking about something a little less contentious. Airfield Ag is a new company that opened based in Weston, Idaho. They do crop dusting with drones. And I'm here today with the owner, Brandon Hadley, to talk about that business. Brandon, thanks for taking a few minutes with me today.
No, thank you. I appreciate the time. Glad to be here.
So Airfield Ag, like I said, you're based in Weston, and you offer crop dusting and some other services for farmers in the area. Do you want to talk about that?
Correct. Yeah. So we do custom spraying application as well as drone service and sales and custom trailers built to service those drones as well. If a grower wanted to buy his own drone, we'd provide the whole package for him. You need a support system behind that drone, so we sell that as well.
When did you guys officially open?
We officially opened January 1st as Airfield Ag. I sprayed last year, custom app applied under another LLC's name for a year with the drones. I run ground rigs a little bit. Started the drone side of spraying last summer with two drones and did quite a bit in eastern Idaho last year on the potatoes. Had had enough success with that and saw enough of a need and a desire from the growers that we separated that and created created its own LLC just to service and maintain the aerial application side of things.
What's the response been? I mean, it sounds like you've had a few pretty big jobs.
Yeah. Yeah, so last year we covered about 10,000 acres. We had about 10,000 covered by the 1st of June this year. That tells you a little bit where, and we're just hitting the heat of the season now. Um, so the response is good in the sense that it's becoming more and more challenging for an airplane to crop dust in the middle of houses or residential areas in general. And the drone gives the grower an option, another option, especially in the potato market where they don't typically like to be driving in those fields. They'd rather things be aerial applied. It gives the grower an option to do fields that the airplane wouldn't necessarily do, or even do the fields that the airplane is doing in a more precise manner. We can do things a little more controlled. We don't have to dive in over top of tree lines or power lines or house lines. We can spray exactly within the field and never outside of the field. So it just makes things a little more precise and safe and quiet. It doesn't seem to excite the neighborhood when we show up because they don't even necessarily know we're there. So it also brings a precision side as well because the drones are fully autonomous. So they're flying on a GPS line exact. Takes kind of the human or the man out of the equation. So there's a little more precision to the drone application as well.
What's the story behind why you wanted to start a business like this?
So I've been in ag my whole life. Born here in Cache Valley, farmed as a kid. I've been on farms, and I was on a farm till I was 30, kind of managing crops there, and then got into the agronomy side of things. Went to work for the local co-op and started spraying and working as a field man and giving crop recommendations, agronomy recommendations, and so it was a natural fit for me. I was looking to better myself and try to take take I guess my career to the next level, and that's really hard to do in competition with co-ops. And I obviously hadn't put a lifetime into flying or becoming a pilot, but this gave me a niche in the market that allowed me to go and do and go out on my own and something that I already knew and understood and had a little bit of some expertise in. So it was an easy fit for me. and autonomy in general, I think, is the future of farming and agriculture. So seemed like a wise decision for me to move in that direction and continue down that same path. Just in a little different for me. Aerial is different for me, but I do understand the agronomy side enough and the spraying side enough to know what ultimately what we're accomplishing. I'm just accomplishing the same thing with a different tool. And there's specific places where that drone works and where it doesn't work. So I guess long answer to short question, but that it was a natural fit for me and timing was right. I was ready. So
Yeah. But you mentioned a few things there. There's some places a drone can go and some places it can't. So do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
yeah, so a drone will never, well, I shouldn't say never, but right now it's not going to replace a ground rig in precision standards. A ground rig can be sub-inch. We're still 10 feet in the air. So that spray pattern is going to variate in the air from 10 feet off the ground, where a ground rig is 20 inches off the ground, ideally. So that spray pattern is more controlled, but we are better than an airplane in that sense, where an airplane is a lot faster and sometimes a lot higher off the ground. So there's good places. There's just places where it fits and where it don't. I cannot replace a ground rig in certain scenarios, but can do a better job than an airplane in certain scenarios. So there's some specifics to it.
What's the most rewarding part of this business?
The most rewarding part of this business for me is I get to continue to do what I love. There was a time when I thought it was going to be hard for me to create a living in agriculture. But the reality is agriculture will never go away. We'll always have to feed the world, and Idaho plays a major part in that. And I'm proud to be here in Idaho and to be a part of that. It's extremely rewarding to know how big of a picture what little bit I do has a part of this major picture in feeding the world. And it's really easy to get excited and embrace what we do. I get to be outside every day. I get to work with good, honest, hardworking people every day. I have the same mindset I do. We're all trying to basically put food on the table, on our own table at home, but we get to do it in a way that is fulfilling. It has a purpose, it has meaning, it has deep meaning. And most of these guys you work with are multi-generational. So there's a real deep meaning to what they do on the family farm. And I don't have my own family farm, something I've always wanted, but this gives me a way to have a connection to the family farm. And I'm grateful for that. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, Brandon, this has been great. This is, an interesting business idea that's kind of adapting to the modern times and something that's kind of unique. If people want to learn more about the service, where can they go to do that?
So we have a website, airfieldag.com. They can follow us on social media as well. Pretty simple. We're starting to gain some traction there, so should be easy for them to find us. My personal phone number is on the website. There's email address also that you can reach out to. And they can ask questions about their own spraying needs or if they have a desire to get into a drone themselves and start doing their own. They're easy to find us.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Brandon. This has been
Thank you.
good chatting with you.
Appreciate the time.